said. Um, so an expressive approach to language would ground knowledge not on a kind of a subjective belief, held by an ego, by a thinking thing, about, or, in some sense, able to represent um, an external object extended in geometrical space, a space that we understand clearly and distinctly with our mathematical formulas. Rather, we would understand ontology as process. So for Descartes, in the Cartesian scientific picture of descriptive language, we see nature as one substance and God as another substance. And really, Descartes wasn't a dualist. It wasn't just mind and matter, right? It was mind, matter, and God. And really, mind and matter were just different sides of God, different aspects or modes of God. And Spinoza, not long after Descartes, would make this more explicit. He would make explicit something Descartes didn't explicitly say, but that was implied by what he discovered. But I think in an expressive ontology, you recognize that all things are in process together, so that, yes, there is God and nature and the human soul, but that these three things dwell within one another, that they are expressions of the same underlying dynamic reality, the same underlying dynamic reality, and that reality is not a pre-given, ready-made external object or system of objects. Reality is rather, an adventure, a creative endeavor where God, the Creator, is not transcendent and all-powerful, where God doesn't exist separately from and prior to a universe which that God designed and created on a whim for a purpose that we will never understand. No, God, in creating, became with the world, the creation, and is still becoming with the creation, so that rather than thinking of knowledge as something a subject has about an object, as rather than thinking of creation as something owned and possessed and mastered by a creator who transcends it, we can think of knowledge and I guess divine creation as acts of poetic expression. And as Whitehead describes it, expression is really the first sacrament. It's the cosmic sacrament. It's the religion. Expression is the religion of the universe, the religion of nature that has existed long before humans ever came up with any of their religious belief systems. Nature's religion is expression. It's through expression, the expression of individual creatures, individual organisms, be they, atoms all the way up the various species of the periodic table of elements, or plants or animals, cellular, multicellular life as it exists on the surface of the earth. All of us are participating, right, in the metabolic activities of the world soul, of the cosmic God that allows all things to hold and to hang together as a whole. So unlike Descartes or Spinoza, who are ultimately monists in that they think that there is one substance which truly exists and that all separateness is merely an illusion, for Whitehead, in this expressionist and this process ontology, what you have is not a monism but a pluralism. There is not simply one being. There is a community of beings who don't necessarily, by some imposed law, arrive at community and order together, but rather only contingently through historical struggle and evolution, through the desire to express and through expression to relate to one another, do they come to achieve order and cosmos, which is just Greek for order. So rather than a monist ontology, Whitehead offers us a sense of a universe whose unity remains to be achieved always, again and again, in each moment, each concrescence. So the universe was born in such a way that none of its participants, none of the actual occasions which composed it, yet knew how to sing in harmony. They had to discover their harmony in the act, and still must discover that harmony in the act. And when we talk about, if the religion of nature is expression, when we try to talk about the religion of humanity, I think we need to look away from the idea that religion is made up of dogmas or these sort of propositional statements about matters of fact, because clearly that doesn't work for religion in a modern scientific context where science has done a really good job making accurate predictions about matters of fact. So religion can't be trying to root itself in these sorts of dogmatic formalisms and propositional statements about the nature of reality. Rather, religion has to root itself in this kind of expression or expressive cosmology and process ontology that I'm trying to articulate. So it doesn't really matter so much what the validity of someone's belief is. It's not a matter of the factuality or the fabrication of one's beliefs, but about what those beliefs do, what they allow you to enact in the world, how they change your experience, how they change your behavior, how they change the way you relate to other creatures, other beings. That's where we should try to understand the nature of belief, religious belief in particular, right? It's not about the factual accuracy of a religious statement. It's about what political, social, psychological changes that belief makes possible.